Hello, Dallas. It's time to wake up and get wealthy. Hi there, I'm Terri Arends, Group Fitness and Wellness Director with the Arends family, JCC. And this is the month of October. October is Pink Out Month, and we are going to be discussing tips and exercise options on the preventative end and on how to, if you are diagnosed with breast cancer. So this is month of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I am here with the amazing Pam Patrick.
Hi,
Pam.
Terri.
Hi, thanks for coming on the show. And today we're going to discuss Pam. I know she wears many hats, and she has been on our show before. She's just this amazing multitasked professional in the fitness industry, and today she has her cancer exercise specialist hat on. So we're going to talk to Pam and get a little smarter when it comes to breast cancer and just being cancer aware of various options that are out there on the post end and on the preventative end. So Pam, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Terri. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. So tell our viewers exactly what is a cancer exercise specialist.
A cancer exercise specialist is a fitness and health professional that goes a little bit deeper within the exercise world with cancer. So cancer, you just can't go out and train somebody if you don't have the knowledge, right, of what types of cancer they have, maybe where they are in their treatments, things like that. So it's definitely a specialized field. I am also certified from ACSM in cancer exercise trainer as well. And so you could definitely, if you don't know what's going on with the body with cancer, then you could definitely injure somebody, things like that. So you want to make sure that when you do have cancer and you get diagnosed, that you want to work with somebody who is a professional and knows what's going on. So especially breast cancer too, because it has a lot of parts to it.
Okay. So if I am out there and I'm in need of a cancer exercise specialist, do I just pick up the phone? Do I make a Google search? Or how do I find a specialist like yourself?
You could contact the Cancer Exercise Institute and ask them. They have a directory. They're worldwide. Mm-hmm. So they have a directory all over the world. You can find one. I, of course, am one, and I have my business I'm getting ready to launch a business in January for newly diagnosed patients. So whether you have breast cancer, colon cancer, whatever you have, I'm there to guide you through in that beginning stages, which is huge.
And is this going to be live or is it going to be online?
It's going to be online. It's going to be a 12-week program that I've worked for 10 years to really develop, and know that after working inside Baylor Hospital, that I really found out how cancer patients need to thrive. And no matter where they are in their journey, how much better off they are when we do kind of put all the parts together.
Oh, I love that. I would definitely, look to you for guidance. You're just a wealth of information and so dedicated to our industry, our fitness industry. So thank you for doing that.
Yes.
And before we get a little smarter when it comes to exercise for cancer, I wanted to know a little bit about, if we could just share with our members and our viewers a little bit of, on the preventative side, what are just some of the common steps to take in reference to breast cancer and what we can be doing in advance.
Okay, yeah, so cancer, we all have cancer cells within us, right? So we don't want them to activate, and we have somewhat of a control over that, and sometimes it's the unfortunate unlucky lottery, right? So, however, there are some things that we really we're finding out more and more all the time. They've been, as the years go by, they've done more research, they've done all kinds of different studies to find out that our environment is a really big one, right? So what we intake into our environment, so the air we breathe, and of course we can't really help where we live. However, just being conscious of maybe in our homes, using cleaning products that have less chemicals. Using women, it's a big thing for like our underarm to not put the aluminum, on our skin. especially for breast. They've done a little bit of research on that too, and so I just feel like the more wholesome and healthier our products are, organically, all of that helps out. Our food is another huge thing that, we protect our cars with the right gas, right? We put that in and they run properly.
Yes.
But so our body, we forget that our body, it's a machine, right? So it has to run well. And the way we help it is by putting great food in. So food is our gas in our body. And we don't think about all kinds of processed foods that have entered our lives from, way back when. Our grandparents had, wholesome foods. They didn't have all that junk, the microwavable things, and all the chemicals within it. And so I've just been really delving into it more and more as the years gone by, and realized that cancer patients have to have all of us have to have less of the oil, processed foods and things in our environment. So as what we take in. So the healthier, wholesome foods that we can eat, the better off we are.
Yes. What about just regular checkups?
And regular checkups, mammograms for sure. And they just came out too with the fact that the mammograms are still down from where we were before COVID. So if women really, that is our first line of defense, as well as doing our monthly breast exams and going to the doctor and getting regular checkups and our blood work every year, making sure that we have that blood work done. But mammograms are so important from age 40 on, and if you have it in your family, or if people have been tested for the BRCA gene, you want to make sure that maybe you go earlier and you get yourself tested.
And so what do you consider earlier? Like what age?
Like I know some friends have had it a lot in their family and go by age 30, and they just kind of make sure and they keep themselves in check, because our first line is all of our preventative that we can check out and then know that we started, and we just watch for anything that might be abnormal.
So checkups, healthy environment, what we
eat, yes,
all of that. The nutritional piece all goes into on the preventative side.
Yes.
So when we're looking at, particularly since this is October and Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we're looking at various types of exercises, you are an exercise specialist, cancer exercise specialist. So is there any magic to exercising, or is cardio versus strength training, is one better than the other on the preventative end?
No, actually cardio and strength are equal, right? And so depending on where people are in their journey, they sometimes with cancer patients, with breast cancer patients, they have different surgeries and things like that. So they're limited to where they can start strength training. So brisk walking is huge to do. So taking a daily walk every single day and getting out there, getting some vitamin D if you can walk outside, and just walking. But definitely strength training too, depending on when they're able to start, depending on their surgeries, things like that.
So what would be the benefits of cardiovascular training, like going on those brisk walks? Like how can that help prevent potentially breast cancer?
They actually did a study. So the Women's Health Institute did a study and said that the women who took a brisk walk every day were 18% less likely to get breast cancer than the ones who did not walk. So cardio, just getting our heart rate right, getting our heart pumping, getting our blood circulating in our body, just keeping our immune system being built, right? The immune system is huge, and we take that for granted too. We don't pay attention as much, but exercise, again, healthy eating, all that to boost our immune system.
Okay, and then on the strength training piece, what are the benefits of strength training?
So the benefits of strength training are our muscles. So depending on breast cancer, some of the meds that they're on, things like that, they actually attack the bones. So then they could throw them into early menopause if they're not there yet. Then they weaken the bones, they weaken the muscles, so osteoporosis. So strength training comes in to build up those muscles, build up those bones, and so that kind of counteracts the medication. Some of them, a lot of them are on medication for 5-10 years. And that can mess with their joints. It also makes their joints stronger, because especially some of the meds, definitely give them joint pain, things like that.
So the strength training makes, of course, the joints stronger.
Yes.
And is there any suggestions, like on strength training being better than cardio, or again, you just need them both?
Again, you just need them both.
Okay.
And sometimes people just are tired and fatigued, and they just need mentally, they need that walk. Even just that walk helps them mentally as well. So yes, I think both are equally important because as a heart we have to protect it as well. And some of the chemos that are given to breast cancer patients have an effect on the heart. So that is why for sure that the cardio has to be as important as the strength training.
Oh, that makes like such perfect sense, and that's a really good point about how chemo just really attacks, weakens our heart.
Yes, it can hit
our
the
circulatory system.
Yeah, and it can hit the muscle tissue. So you have to. There are patients that I really have to kind of watch if they've been on certain chemo. One big one is the Red Devil, and it's one of the most toxic chemos out there. But it is the most. It has the most effectiveness, right, with a lot of them. And so it can attack the heart tissue. So we really have to watch our heart rate. The heart rate can go up really high after they've been given Red Devil. And then we have to kind of watch it. So to kind of bring it down and help the heart get stronger and back to where it's working well.
So what would be a typical specialized program for, I know that there's going to be a lot of different variations of breast cancer, but for your clients, what would be like a typical program that you would incorporate into on the cardio piece and then again on the strength training piece?
So a typical program that I would put on, depending on, so if they're newly diagnosed and they're starting their chemo radiation, I would put them on, starting them with maybe 10 minutes. And 10 minutes to see how they would do maybe in the morning, and if they felt good, they could do 10 minutes of walking in the afternoon.
This is
cardio.
cardio.
This is cardio. So 10 minutes of cardio in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, maybe 10 minutes in the middle of the day, wherever they feel to kind of give them a boost, right? So you don't want to give them too much. You want to make sure that they can tolerate it. And then as the weeks go by, I usually keep that about 10 minutes a couple of times a day for the first 4 weeks. And then I'll let them go up maybe 20 minutes. Right, and then if they feel good, they're working their way up to 30-minute walks daily. And that doesn't mean that you have to do all 30 minutes. You could do the 10, 10, 10 still. So it's just a matter of building them up. And strength training as well, building them up. Small amount of weights, because especially 6 to 8 weeks after a mastectomy, then you have to be very careful. You have to do weightless kind of things. And you're doing range of motion. So range of motion is very important. Their breath is very important. And then as you work on your range of motion, then you can start doing small weights to get that shoulder activated. And because now they're tight in their shoulders, they're tight in their chest, depending on if they have reconstructive surgery, they have expanders. So that can get really tight. So it's super important to open up the chest, get the range of motion through the shoulders. And as you do that, working on the strength building as they go along.
So when we're working on cardio, I'm thinking that we could do the cardio piece 5 times a week in small increments.
Yes.
But then with the strength training, I guess if you're just using your body weight, then you're more apt to be able to, do that more times a week. But if you're starting to use even light weights, should it be something that's,
2 times
twice
a week? Yes, 2 times a week. Yeah, and 3 times a week as they go along. But definitely, I say 2 times a week and then get it going from there.
And so do you have any training prescriptions for a brand new exerciser that was just diagnosed with breast cancer, but they haven't been through like any of the treatments?
Yeah, so that I would just say, I would start them out with range of motion. Then I would go into having their cardio program built. Then I would have them do certain exercises knowing that they could potentially have surgery, right? So I would have them go into upper body like wall push-ups, wall planks, starting from there where they can tolerate it. And then as they go along, then the prescription changes. But definitely lower body workouts, squats, wall sits, all those type of things that can really strengthen the lower body as well as the upper body and not overwork them. So because they can be fatigued too, even if they've got newly diagnosed and they don't have treatment yet.
So would it be okay for somebody to waltz into like a group fitness class situation, knowing that they've been diagnosed but they're feeling great and maybe they want to do a dance class or something, or really light weights, or just modify with their own body weight? Is that something that somebody under your direction, that could be some extra activity that they might be up for, or is that safe, is my question.
Yes, so group exercise, I would put them after they've gone through all their treatments and things, and they're now moving on with their journey. They're saying, now I'm good to go, I'm ready. Then they could get back into the group, because I really want them to then focus the mindset, right? And now I say to them, here you are, okay, you're going through this, it's a journey, and now you're going to get out there, you're going to thrive, and you're going to keep moving. And so then they can grab into groups and then, just form those bonds and things like that. But I don't recommend it when they're first diagnosed.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, because we know that groups also are therapy and positive, and
Yes.
so there's strength in numbers. So
Yes, and maybe get in a group if they had a group, which I don't know. I mean, I'm building that group within my community online. But if they had a group of people who were newly diagnosed and just wanted to go out for a walk together, maybe, start a walking group or something like that.
I love that.
That
idea.
would be huge for a group, and that would be safe for them to do. So nobody would get injured. And, of course, because you don't know the instructors and how much knowledge they do have when you send them into a group environment.
Yeah, well, I love that idea to form little groups. We actually here at the JCC, we do have a class that meets twice a week, and it is a yoga class for cancer survivors and friends.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
we offer that twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2:15. And we co-partner with the Jewish Family Services, so it's a part of one of their offerings as well.
Oh, great, because that is huge, and it's exactly, community is everything. Because the mindset too, right? When everybody, if I can talk about the fact that when somebody gets newly diagnosed with cancer, it's a big shock, right? So the mind, we go into the fear first, right? Am I gonna live? And what's gonna happen to me? And do I have to have chemo and radiation? What's gonna happen to my body? All these things. I'm working. How am I gonna work and have chemo and radiation? I don't even. So all these things are circling in their mind, and they need to be calmed as well. So I talk about meditation. So the yoga is awesome. Meditation, huge for all of us, right? Our stressful world that we live in. That's another thing. We need to reduce the stress as well, because stress can be a component, unfortunately, of setting off that cancer cell as well.
Yeah, also that would relate to also even sleep, and how you could create your own sanctuary in your bedroom to allow you to sleep better. And if you sleep better, then you will have less stress in your life.
Yes, for sure.
Things like that, even those little extra things. If you could share with us just what a typical strength training program would be, like what would I do, Pam? Would I grab like 2-pound weights, and if you just share with our viewers a little bit.
I would start out always, again, every single program with range of motion. So because of the tightness that a lot of people have anyway, no matter what type of cancer they have. I would be, I would actually be doing, kind of chest openers, right? So you would kind of put your arms out, open up, press that chest forward, and just don't go back too far, right? You just want to go back just part way where you can still see your arms, and just kind of opening up that chest, because a lot of time they come in and they're closed off. So we want to open it up, kind of think about being open. Also, butterfly. I don't know if you've done these, but you can put your hand at your temple, bring your elbow out in front of your body, and then how far back can you go? And I have them do about 10 on one side and 10 on the other, because we're all dominant on one side. And so I want that weaker side to make sure it kind of catches up. So I would do those. I also love ankle circles, because just getting everything going with the ankle joint, right, for walking, for getting set up for squats, things like that. So I would just do the ankle circles. And then on the lower back, I would take the hands and go to the elbows, to the knees, and just kind of warm up the lower back. So those are kind of the start of the range of motion. Then I would get people up, and I would take them over to the wall, and I would do wall push-ups. Wall push-ups are huge. Women should really do push-ups. And I've done some research I've done some research with this, as far as women keeping our strong musculature in our chest, as far as less dense in the breast tissue. Some people are just more prone to it. Women are more prone to it. Men, I don't want to exclude, because men get breast cancer as well.
Yes.
So, but yes, push-ups to strengthen the pec muscles, especially if they're going to go into surgery. It's huge to get those muscles built up beforehand, right? So push-ups, wall plank, putting your elbows on the wall, bringing your legs out and just holding, that can be intense for people to start there. And as they get stronger, I bring them down to the floor to do push-ups on the knees, then to do knee for a modified plank, then bring them up to their toes to do a plank. But just really conditioning them to be successful from the very beginning. So I have about 10 exercises through strength training that I do. So I'll start out with the range of motion, and then I'll work with the legs, the core, of course, the shoulders, the chest, and just go through about 10 exercises and then move them along as they get stronger.
Okay, so here's the question. You can't believe everything that you see out on, of course, on the internet. But,
right.
So if someone's physically fit, does that decrease their chance of getting breast cancer?
I would like to say it does. I mean, it helps, right? So being overweight and also with watching our insulin, that's a big thing that can be a trigger factor for cancer. But keeping ourselves physically fit is always a good idea. Never not, right? Exercise is medicine for all of us. So I would love to say that. I unfortunately lost my father to cancer, is kind of why I'm doing this too, so helping others. It was 18 years today, as a matter of fact. He died of esophageal cancer. So, but I realized he was a strong man, right? He worked out. That's where I got my health habits from him. And now, and I know, even though we had him longer than we would have, had he not been so physically fit, he had a longer lifespan with it. However, but I still say that exercise is huge. When we get diagnosed, and I have had numerous patients over the years, numerous cancer survivors, where I saw how sick they were, and I worked out with them and just gently started. And when they were done, you would have never known they had cancer. I mean, I'm talking people that are in their 40s and 50s where you would think they still can get up and move. They were so weakened by chemo that once they started exercising and getting the heart pumping and then starting to work those muscles, what an amazing outcome. And so as breast cancer survivors, awesome, because just like I said, because of the chemo that they're putting through and also their radiation, they benefit so much and open up that chest, because a lot of times I just see so much roundness in women. And then also some of those medicines cause weight gain, and so it just gives everybody an uplift of their whole structure, their mind, all of it. So unfortunately, no. Can it help us prevent? Not necessarily. However, it does help us through our fight, and the ones that are physically fit and the ones who become physically fit are the greatest outcome.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good for our viewers to know, to always keep that lifestyle of fitness and nutrition and the whole wellness piece in the forefront.
Yes.
And basically, you're saying that cancer doesn't discriminate, it doesn't care.
It doesn't care. It doesn't care, but I'm telling you, it is all worth it. Every single minute you put into your health is worth every second. So
I will concur with that, Pam. One thing though, I'm kind of curious about breast cancer in a patient, and they want to return to exercise. What's the timeline there? Like that to get them moving? Is it like a few days, a couple weeks after, let's say, that they've had surgery?
Okay, so surgery, depending on, like a lumpectomy, right? They'll have a lumpectomy and they can get going within 4 weeks. Okay. They can still walk get them up and moving the very next day, but they can go walking and get started again after 4 weeks.
How about chemo?
So, and chemo, you can do it during chemo, and that's where I encourage, when you are starting chemo radiation, make sure you are exercising, because a lot of side effects happen with that chemo, right? So fatigue, it also lowers their immune system. It also, we talked about earlier with the bones, so osteoporosis, muscles, but it is huge. It is a game changer. I like to think about the fact we say our warriors, right? And cancer survivors are warriors. And I like to look at it as a battle plan. So have your battle plan ready and your battle plan is your health and fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And once you've got that, and you do go on it every day in your journey for your mind, your breath is huge.
Mm-hmm.
So all those, and the working out, all of that, huge for that. Now 6 to 8 weeks later, depending on, also with back to lumpectomy, if they take lymph nodes, right? We also, women and men will always have to worry about lymphedema. They used to think that after surgery, whatever, they can wear the sleeve and they'll be fine and nothing will happen, right? Well, they say don't lift over 10 pounds for a while or whatever. However, lymphedema can happen anytime throughout your life. So it can spark by, doing too heavy of weightlifting, things like that. So you really have to be cautious when you work with breast cancer especially, or anybody who's had lymph nodes removed. So we do an upper and lower lymphatic system drainage, so that gets the body prepared. So, and surgery, sometimes when they have mastectomies and then they have reconstructive surgery, it's all kinds of different levels of where they can begin. So, but they always can start with the walking and the weightless kind of range of motion after 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay, so that sounds like a plan.
Yes.
And can you share with our viewers again, we kind of tapped into on it at the beginning, but if you could share just one last thing, just on some sources out there again that can help folks if they need to fight this fight.
Okay, so yes, so the sources are, they can contact the Cancer Exercise Training Institute to look for a trainer near you. So some people do go into the home. Again, my online will start in January, and it's for all cancers, but and I do have plans for everybody, and I will walk you through a 12-week program for your mind, your body, your spirit. It all has to happen together. You can look for different walks are coming up now. So you have the Susan G. Komen walk. You have different walks for breast cancer. And so I encourage everybody to go out there and just get involved.
Okay. And for our JCC members and community, we have a couple things coming up too. We have the following Thursday, I don't remember the date, but the next 2 Thursdays, we have Pretty in Pink, which is a super functional class up on the fitness facility area, and it's just to, again, recognize awareness. So if you're going to come to that class, sign up on the MyJ app. It's a strength training class, and also wear a little pink. We also have a lecture coming up this month that you can get more information about that on our website and on our email blast. And again, we also have a day coming up where we hope that in addition to staff, that all of our members that come to the J on the 20th of this month wear some pink in support of breast cancer awareness. So we have a lot on our menu too, as far as just, again, bringing that awareness to our members in our community. And with that, I'm going to say, Pam, thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me.
I love when you join us because you're just a wealth of knowledge. And for you guys at home, once again, remember to wake up and get wealthy. And I'm Terri Arends. And until next time, we'll see you, and wear some pink and fight the fight. Thank you.